My goodness, my goodness. What? What? You decided to do me like that? You decided to just subscribe. Thank you. Thank you so much for subscribing. This mama is so grateful. Very, very grateful that you took your time to subscribe to my channel. So how have you been? How are you? Is life treating you kindly? What's going on? Is everything okay? Let me say this. We decided to brand ourselves. Did you notice that we are now Soul 254 TV? Yeah. So the board of directors, and in this case, Nathan and Jeremy decided, you know what? Let's do this thing and go big or go home. I'm the kind of person that believes in small beginnings that end to bigger endings. And I've seen God just pick small things and make big things out of it. So we decided, even as we start, we're gonna start small but aim to go big. So we came up with a name. We sat down, thought about names, and we said, the name that will fit us is Soul 254 TV. Soul 254 TV. We are Soul 254 TV. And I'm your presenter, Shirombogo. Let it sink. Me, your presenter, Shirombogo. And we are hoping that at some point some other people want to join us. If you have something to say, and we all have something to say, we all have an opinion. If asked, we can say something about things or life. And so I want to encourage you, if you want to say something, and you want Soul 254 to carry your story, then we are the people. Call us. 770-480-0963. Was I there? Was I fast or slow? But anyway, today I wanted to talk to you about something that is so dear to my heart. I felt like you guys gave me your best. You decided to subscribe. Now let me give you an experience of a lifetime. I wanted to tell you about my own story, my own experience, something that I went through and how I overcame it, so that you can learn, laugh at me, laugh with me, do whatever. But I wanted to just share with you an experience that I had as I lived life. It's not that I'm a psychologist. I have no degree in psychology, but I have a degree in life. Out of doing life, I was awarded a degree, and that is why I have confidence in speaking about what I'm about to speak about. I have confidence. I speak about it because I have been through it. I've seen it all. Then I decided, you know what? Let me tell my story. So today is the day that I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give you my story. So this day I want to talk to us about shame. Shame as in S-H-A-M-E. Shame. Has anyone ever told you shame on you? And you're like, shame on me? How now? They just said it. So there's no saying shame back to you, shame back to you. So when it's shame on you, you wear it. But then I wanted to just take the power of shame on you and make you realize it has no power over you. It has no power over you. Believe it from somebody that has gone through it and survived it and lived to tell her story. Believe you me, it has no power on you. So this is my story. I have dealt with shame because of what I did. I did something and it went down very fast. Before I even noticed, I was down and out. Yeah. Down and out. But I wanted to tell you about my story of rising up now from shame. And I wanted to share with you my experience and what I did to rise up out of it. But before I even tell you that story, I want to admit that there are people that have gone through shame, not because of anything that they did, just because of rumors. Maybe you, like I heard of a story that somebody woke up in the morning and they had written on newspapers that they are dead. And now they had to come out and say, no, I'm not dead, I'm still alive. That tells you, there are many wicked people in this world. There are many people that wish others harm. There are many people that will go to whatever length to make sure that you get hurt. So, for those people that have gone through shame, not because of anything that they did, but just because of rumors, my heart goes out to you. And then there are those kind of people that go through shame, not because of what they have done, not because of what they did, but now because of how they carry themselves. They look at themselves and there's something about themselves they don't like. maybe because of their upbringing, how they were loved, or something just happened. They don't like how they look. They don't like how they sound. They don't like how their eyes are positioned. There's something about them they don't like. And again, my heart goes out to you. If you don't like how you look, if you don't like how you sound, or if you when you were growing up, you were shamed, and so you carry the shame up to today, my heart goes out to you. But in whatever place you find yourself, I'm gonna meet you there at the place that you are and tell you there's a better life up here. There's another way to deal with what happened to you. There's another way to deal with rumors. There's another way to deal with your mistakes. That's what I want to do today, because I care. So this is my experience. So something happened that I found myself that I'm in a place of shame. And this is what I did. I found myself there. The first thing you do when you find yourself in a place of shame is that you must talk to yourself. Don't talk to anybody else. Talk to yourself. The first time you know it has gone down, and I'm not able to correct this narrative, and it's down, and I'm down. The first thing that you do to pick yourself up is to talk nicely to yourself. Speak good to yourself, not to anybody else, to yourself. Look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, Shiro, you're bigger than this. You're gonna get out of this, and you're going to get out of this stronger than you got in. You must speak to yourself. You must tell yourself, this will not take me out. No. It will not take me out. I mean, let me give you a background story. I come from Kitale, a small town in Kenya. Kitale, to where I am. And then you think that shame will take me out. I looked at shame and said, you will not be able to take me out. Peace to you. But me, I'm gonna stick here. So talk to yourself. Remind yourself of victories that you've had. Remind yourself of where you've come from, what you've achieved, where you are headed. Then look at shame and tell shame, you have no place in my life. But talk to yourself and just be nice and kind to yourself. I have 2 boys, and every time they come home from school and they tell me a story, oh mommy, this is what happened. The first thing I tell them, that's not you. They have not met the right you. And I encourage them, I talk nicely to them, I make sure that I've pumped them, that even when somebody else tells them something else, they will remember it's not them. It's the same thing that I'm asking of you. The same things that you tell others to make them feel good. It's now your turn to look inward and tell yourself that. Tell yourself you are loved. Tell yourself you're gonna be bigger than this. Tell yourself good things. Look in the mirror and just tell yourself everything that works for you. And remind yourself that you're going to get out of this bigger and better. Because I'm sure by now, there will be so many people that will tell you bad things. They will tell you, what happened? Hey, what happened? They will ask you many, many questions. But when you're built inside, when you know yourself, when you spend time to encourage yourself, when you meet this kind of people, you will meet them at where as they come. Like when they say, what happened? You tell them it was a mistake, but I've lived through it. They will not be able to have a comeback. But when you've just sat there and you're feeling sorry and pitying yourself and waiting for somebody to come and lift you up, no, nobody's coming. They will not lift you up. They'll make sure you go down and down and down. So make sure when you encounter shame, the first thing you do is talk to yourself. Sit with yourself. And let me say this, you're your only companion, your only cheerleader. You bring to us what you have done in private. If you encourage yourself, we'll hear it from your conversation. If you pity yourself, we'll hear it from your conversation. And people will pick from the energy that you give them. If you give them pity, they'll make sure they ponder you and make sure that you feel nothing. You feel worse than how you came in. So make sure that you tell yourself a better story. It's not time to regret. It's not time to feel sorry for yourself. It's not time to question your judgment. No, it's not time for that. It's time to encourage yourself. The second thing that you must do is ask for forgiveness. you did something wrong to somebody else, go out and ask for forgiveness. And when you ask for forgiveness, mean it. Turn away. The point of asking for forgiveness is saying, please forgive me. And then you must show that you are truly sorry of what you did by turning away, by making sure that there's a U-turn. Everybody can see that she turned. She stopped doing what she was doing. That's the only time you asking for forgiveness will mean something. But as you ask for forgiveness, there's a catch. Please, when you ask for forgiveness, if the other person doesn't want to forgive you, or they don't ask for their permission, or they're okay. If you ask for forgiveness, know that you're forgiven. If they say, I've forgiven you, or I've not forgiven you, just know that you're forgiven. Because there are people that will also use that, and they think that's you being weak, and they'll use that as a guilt trip. They will want now to make sure that you feel guilty. You did it, so you feel guilty. So I'm not going to release my forgiveness so that you feel guilty. That's another way of control. Make sure when you have said, I'm sorry, and you purposed in your heart to turn away from what you are doing, you have said, I'm sorry, then walk away. Walk away. Do not linger. Do not wait for that person to pronounce forgiveness over yourself. And if you're a Christian like me, the purpose of Jesus coming to this world and dying a shameful death, dying on the cross, is that you be forgiven. The only purpose that he came is because of you and the sins that you think you have done. So when you've asked for forgiveness, you should know that you're forgiven by God. Because you've asked forgiveness for the person that you hurt, or the people that you hurt, or maybe it's politics, the crowd, or wherever you've asked for forgiveness from. The second person you've asked for forgiveness is God. Now, know it in your heart, and I'm telling you without any fear of contradiction, that you are forgiven. It doesn't matter if that person will be able to pronounce forgiveness over you, because the only thing you need to do is make sure that you align yourself with what is right. It's not so much about the other person. The third thing that you must do is tell your story. This is where I come in. Tell your story. Tell it to everybody else. Anyone that wants to hear, tell it to them. When you find them sitting and they want to start talking, they want to start, no, tell them, please, let me just tell you what is going on. My name is so-and-so, and this is what I did. Tell them. The other person that you can, if you are a Christian like me, go to church. You can tell your pastor and you pray together, or you can just find somebody that you can trust and tell them. Do not, I beg of you, do not keep it as a secret. Do not. Shame, if you keep shame as a secret, it grows bigger and bigger and bigger. When I was growing up in Kitale, there are guys that used to get pregnant, and so they thought that they was very wise. So they wear big clothes, hide, put something to tie the stomach so that it's not seen. But some mothers, some women will just look at them and know that they're pregnant, but they will not say anything. They will just wait, and then they will wait. And then when it gets to 9 months, either you give birth or your stomach shows. So there's no one that you are lying to. So do not keep it as a secret. Don't try to hide it. Shame becomes bigger when you hide it. When you want now to act like you're in silence, you don't know what's going on, you don't know why people are not treating you right. You go somewhere and you wonder why are they talking about you, and then you go somewhere and you look at them and you pretend like there's nothing that you've done. No, they know. And because you're pretending to them, they're going to talk about it more and more. But when you tell them, you take the power away. When you tell them, and you can even tell them is anybody that has any question, so that you can answer all the questions. But tell them, tell your story. Telling your story, the other thing that telling your story will help you is that when you see people talking or a group talking, you not think they're talking about you. Because the other thing about shame is that when you go somewhere and people are talking maybe in circles, you will think they're talking about you. But when you tell your story, you know that you're not the only center of the universe. So you know they're talking about other things. So you will not even bother about it. But when you've not told them your story, everybody is a suspect. You'll be thinking, these guys, they're all talking about me. No, nobody's talking about you. Tell them your story. Let them laugh. Make sure that it's not that you're telling them your story because you're bragging or you're happy about it. It's because you want to release it to the world so that it does not see, like it's that girl in Kitale. When she got pregnant, she said, "Oh, I'm pregnant." Nobody will care. But when she holds it, now people are waiting. Oh, when is she giving birth? When she gives birth, I have to come and see the baby. But when you tell people your story, you take that power away from them. So they don't have a choice but to accept you because you have told them. It's not bragging. It is that is how you get over shame. And then there are people that like judging others. So when you tell them that story, I'm sure there are people that will judge you. Please, there's only one judgment seat, and there's only one judge, and that is God. And we shall appear before him to be judged of our deeds. So the people that want to judge you, I'll be like, somebody will be like, oh, but why did you do that? I'll be like, you know what, you live your life. Because there's only one judgment seat. We are still on earth. So we'll still do other things that people will not be happy about. And to those people that like judging others, I want to speak to you right now. You are not better than the person that did whatever they did. Or you're not better than that person. It's only that you're hiding your shame and we can see, but we don't like to tell you that we see you hiding your shame. Everybody has a thing that they're not happy about. So when you're quick to judge others as if you're God, and I wonder, so when you judge others, what will happen to you when we get to heaven? Because when you get to heaven, everybody will account for their sin. Will you account for judging me or judging the other person? That's just a question that I'm asking. What will you do? Account? So this judgment thing, we just need to cut it. Cut it, please. Stop judging people. Stop it. If you're being judged, know this for a fact. The person that is judging you, they have nothing to show for their lives. So the only thing that they find worth to do is judge you. So you should know they have nothing to show. Their life is not an example to anybody, and that's why it's so easy for them to judge. Because people that judge others, they live a very careful life. They live a very careful life because they don't want to be criticized, they don't want to be judged, so that they become judges of others. So know that you have lived a good life. For you to make mistakes, you lived a good life. You have tried things, you have done things that you're not proud of, but you've walked away. And finally, I wanted to talk to a group of people that I care for so much. And this is the people that have found themselves ashamed because of rumors. I want to tell you a story. I'm a Christian, and maybe I should just give you my Christian perspective. Now, in the book of 1 Samuel, there is Elkanah. Elkanah had two wives, Peninnah and Hannah. And apparently, before the New Testament, people used to marry two wives. So I mean, please do not ask me. I don't know. I'm just telling you as the Bible records it. So there was Peninnah and there was Hannah. So God had closed Hannah's womb and he had given Peninnah kids. So Peninnah had children, but Hannah did not have any children. Not because of what she had done, but because God chose to close her womb. I don't know why. So every time Peninnah would mock Hannah and make her feel bad about her situation, she would get out of her way to make sure that she is not okay, that she is not happy. And even when they went to sacrifice to the Lord, Hannah would sacrifice for only one person, and Peninnah would sacrifice for all her kids. And I'm sure that would make Hannah feel so bad. But the thing that encourages me about Hannah, the Bible does not account where Hannah complained to Peninnah or where Hannah confronted Peninnah. We don't see that. We don't see Hannah bringing up people, ganging up people to help her clear her name. We don't see Hannah trying to explain to herself to so many people and making sure that people now are helping her fight Peninnah. We don't see that. The only thing we see in the Bible is that Hannah goes to church. He goes to pray. And how do you know he went to pray? Because Eli, the preacher and the prophet, met Hannah, and Hannah was crying. She cried before God, and she just asked God for a son. And God and Eli said, God will grant you what you've asked because you've cried out to him. So the purpose of you going through that shame and you didn't do anything, just know there's a bigger purpose to it. Because we see that Hannah was rewarded, and we talk about Hannah, and then Hannah had Samuel, and there are so many things, and Samuel was a prophet and he anointed David, and we can now see the line of Hannah. But my friend, I tell you, Penina's story ends on her making Hannah feel bad. That's where Penina's story ends. The only thing that is recorded on the Bible is that Penina had kids. We don't even know the names of the kids. We don't know where they ended. But that's the end of our story. But we even have account of what happened to Hannah, who she gave birth to, what happened to that lineage. So my friend, if you're going through shame because somebody has said so many things about you, know that there's a bigger calling on your life. Arise to the occasion. Do not put your head down anymore. It's time to arise. It's time to know. You don't have to gang people, to tell them what they said, and then to counter, and then to come up with another story. No. You just need to be still. You just need to take it to God. If you go to church, take it to God. Make sure that you do something that will not take out your peace of mind. Go to church, pray, do whatever, but make sure that you stand still. Because I'm sure when you go through shame because of rumors, there's something about you that God is about to do. And to those that don't like themselves, for reason, one thing or another, maybe people would tell you are like this, you're like that, or they'll make fun of you like you in school, and kids will bully you, and because of that you feel ashamed or shamed. I want to tell you, there's no one else who's coming to rescue you. Please, just rescue yourself. Just start talking nicely to yourself. Come out of that place. Make sure that you find something good about yourself to talk about. And don't be too sensitive. Shame will not kill you. I mean, it will only bring the best out of you. So, and I heard somebody wrote somewhere that, Lord, help me to accept the things that I cannot change about myself. There are things that you cannot change about yourself. There are things you can change about yourself. There are things you cannot. If it's how you look, surely there's nothing you can do. You're a gift, and God calls you wonderfully made. You are perfect. When God looks at you, He looks at His child and He says that my child is a gift. You're wonderfully made. There's no imperfection before God. When He looks at you, He sees a complete person. So look at yourself from God's perspective. How He looks at you, look at yourself from that. Just know that God does not make any accidents. You cannot correct His work. So He said, you're beautiful, you're wonderfully made. And nobody can correct that. Nobody can make you feel like you're ugly. Because he has never said that he's made anyone ugly. So look at yourself from God's perspective. And this is a time I want to invite you, if you're not born again or if you don't know Christ, that you should, if anything, search for Him. Go to church or pray, but search for Him, because you will find your own identity when you find God. Because now you will use the Word of God to define you and to look at yourself from His perspective. The other people that I want to talk to about is now people like me that have made huge mistakes. The thing here is that you have lived, you have learned, and the beauty about making mistakes is outgrowing your mistake and knowing that there's beauty out of your ashes. Yeah, like trusting God for strength that you didn't know you can have, learning new things, walking a mile, and knowing that there's nothing that can ever shake you. If you went through that, there's nothing that can ever shake you. So my people, have you learned something? Have you? I just wanted to encourage you and tell you that shame, as much as people think it's a bad thing, it's not a bad thing, because it teaches us, it helps us grow to another level. So I wanted to let you know that I love you. And I'm very, very grateful that you've taken your time to subscribe. And if you take your time again to subscribe on this, I mean, I'll be so grateful. Thank you for your time, and thank you for watching.